Hello everyone, welcome to today's presentation of how the world around us shapes young children. Every child's artistic journey is uniquely influenced by their social environment and cultural background. Research from the National Endowment for the Arts shows that imaginative activities in early childhood lead to better social interactions and emotional regulation. Today, we'll discover how family, community, and culture work together to nurture or sometimes limit a child's creative potential. So I would like to ask you this question. Is art just talent or is it shaped by the world around us? We often hear people say, I am just not into arts. But is artistic ability really something we're born with or is it shaped by our experiences? Well, studies reveal that while innate abilities exist, the environment plays a crucial role in developing artistic skills. A child's access to materials, encouragement from adults, cultural exposure, and peer interactions significantly impact their creative development. The answer isn't nature versus nurture. It's nature through nurture. What shapes art in early childhood? Multiple forces work together to influence how children develop artistically. Think of it like a garden. The seed might have potential, but the soil, water, sunlight, and care determine how it grows. For young artists, these environmental factors include family dynamics, educational opportunities, peer relationships, cultural traditions, and media exposure. Understanding these influences helps us create better conditions for every child's creative growth. Now, let us distinguish what are the social and cultural factors in the artistic development of a child. Social factors come from our immediate interactions, such as family dynamics, peer groups, community structures, and educational systems. These are the day-to-day relationships and environments children navigate. While cultural factors run deeper, it is rooted in traditions, shared values, beliefs, and collective identity passed down through generations. Both work together. Culture provides the foundation, while social interactions bring it to life in daily experiences. First is the family influence. Family is typically the first and strongest influence on a child's artistic development. Parents and caregivers shape attitudes toward creativity through their reactions, resources they provide, and their own relationship with art. Research shows that parental encouragement and involvement significantly predict children's continued engagement in arts activities. Families transmit cultural values about art's importance and provide or limit access to creative materials and experiences. Socioeconomic status. Family economic circumstances create significant disparities in artistic opportunities. Higher socioeconomic status often means access to art supplies, classes, museum visits, and cultural events. However, research indicates this relationship isn't really simple. While wealth can provide resources, it doesn't guarantee artistic development. Some studies show children from lower income families may demonstrate greater creativity in certain contexts, using resourcefulness and imagination to overcome material limitations. Education system. Schools play a pivotal role in democratizing access to artistic experiences. For many children, school is their primary exposure to structured art education and diverse creative materials. However, educational priorities vary widely. Some systems prioritize arts education while others marginalize it due to academic pressures or funding constraints. The presence or absence of quality art programs can dramatically impact a child's creative development and self-perception as an artist. Another social factor is the teacher influence. Teachers serve as artistic gatekeepers and guides. Their enthusiasm, knowledge, and teaching approaches can ignite or extinguish a child's creative spark. Research emphasizes that teacher attitudes toward art significantly influence student engagement and self-confidence. A supportive teacher can help children see themselves as capable artists, while criticism or neglect can create lasting negative associations with creative expression. Peer influence. As children grow, peer opinions become increasingly important. Friends can encourage artistic exploration through shared activities and mutual support, or they can discourage it through teasing or exclusion. Group dynamics in classrooms affect willingness to take creative risks. Children often compare their work to their peers, which can either motivate improvement or create feelings of inadequacy that discourage continued artistic engagement. Now, let's talk about the cultural factors. First, we have media and technology. Modern children are immersed in visual culture through television, internet, and digital devices. These experiences shape artistic preferences, introduce new techniques, and provide inspirations. Shows like art programs can spark interest and teach skills, while social media platforms offer both creative opportunities and potentially harmful comparison cultures. Digital tools also provide new mediums for artistic expression that previous generations never had. Next one is gender expectations. Societal gender norms influence which artistic activities children can pursue and how their work is perceived. Traditional expectations might steer boys toward certain art forms and girls toward others, potentially limiting exploration of diverse creative mediums. These biases, often unconscious, can affect everything from color choices to subject matter. For example, girls can only use pink while boys are more attributed to blue, so ultimately shaping artistic identity and confidence in ways that may persist into adulthood. Community and environment. Community provides context for artistic development through local resources, cultural institutions, and collective values about creativity. Urban environments might offer museums and galleries, while rural areas provide different inspirational landscapes. Community support for arts programs, local artists' visibility, and cultural events all contribute to children's understanding of art's role and value in society. Religion and tradition. Religious and traditional practices often include rich artistic elements, from decorative arts to music and dance. These cultural practices can provide children with deep artistic foundations and technical skills while connecting them to their heritage. However, some religious contexts might restrict certain forms of artistic expression, creating complex relationships between faith, tradition, and creative freedom that children must navigate. And the last cultural factor is globalization. Today's children experience unprecedented cultural mixing through global media, international communities, and diverse educational environments. This exposure can enrich artistic development by providing access to diverse techniques, styles, and perspectives from around the world. Now, let's look at how Philippine culture has influenced our artistic development. The Philippines boasts an incredibly rich artistic heritage spanning thousands of years, from indigenous textile weaving and wood carving to Spanish colonial, religious art, and contemporary media. Filipino artistic traditions reflect the country's diverse cultural influences. Traditional crafts like pottery, basketry, and indigenous tattoo art provide foundations for modern artistic expression, while contemporary Filipino artists continue to innovate within both local and international contexts. I like to share my personal viewpoint as to how I discovered art as a child and how I developed my artistic abilities. My own artistic journey began in my father's tailor shop, watching him sketch clothing patterns with careful precision. Those early memories of seeing creativity as functional and purposeful activity shaped my understanding that art exists everywhere in daily life. Another thing is the Saturday mornings, which brought another influence, and that is the show Art Attack on ABS-CBN, where I would eagerly absorb new art techniques and projects. These experiences illustrate that both family profession and influence and media programming could nurture my artistic interests. This also shows how multiple social and cultural factors work together in real life. Pablo Picasso famously said, "Every child is an artist." This isn't just a poetic sentiment. It reflects children's natural inclination toward creative expression and experimentation. Young children approach art without self-consciousness or fear of judgment, characteristics that define true artistic spirit. The challenge is preserving and nurturing the creativity that they already have, while providing them with skills and opportunities to express it. So what can we do as teachers? As educators, we hold tremendous responsibility for nurturing young artists. We can create inclusive environments that celebrate diverse forms of creativity, provide varied materials and experiences, and focus on process over product. Most importantly, we can model enthusiasm for art, ask open-ended questions about children's work, and help them see connections between art and their lives. Our role is to be facilitators of discovery rather than judges of ability. Albert Einstein wisely noted, "The supreme art of the teacher is to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge." This quote reminds us that teaching itself is an art form, and our greatest achievement is igniting passion for learning and creating. Let this be the final takeaway of this presentation. It is both simple and profound. Again, every child is an artist. By understanding the social and cultural factors that influence artistic development, we can create more equitable and supportive environments for all young artists. The future of art depends on how we nurture today's young creators.